So MCP is dead, according to a few articles on LinkedIn. For those who aren't building with AI, MCP stands for Model Context Protocol. It's an abstraction layer that sits between our LLM and a tool. A tool could be anything from Jira, Google Drive, GitHub, GitLab, any of the Git repositories. So it'll allow the LLM to use those things. So it'll push Git, it'll pull things from Git, it'll create Jira tickets, pull something from Google Drive, write something to Confluence. So it's just that point of abstraction that builds a bridge between our LLM and the tools that we use all day, allowing the LLM to automate those tasks. It's very useful in agentic AI. We've had a lot of problems with it. If you are lazy, and every human is lazy, so what we typically do is we give our LLM 20 tools and just get the LLM to figure it out. Giving it more than 10 tools, we start to see issues where it's using the wrong tool. Instead of writing to Google Drive, it's trying to use the Confluence tool to write to Google Drive, which causes an error, which costs a lot of money because it's passing all the information that it was, the document that was writing, back to the LLM and then needing to write it to Google Drive. So it creates these loops that can be expensive or can just fail. And you can imagine the cost here if we say that we want the LLM to take my meeting notes that Gemini and Google Meet has recorded and push them into Confluence or Google Drive, taking that whole big pile of text into the LLM, then outputting it into the LLM twice. So getting it from Google Drive into the LLM and back. So it can be expensive. And if you've got a lot of tools and it's doing a lot of stuff, it causes those two problems. A lot of people have been saying as a result of that, it's dead. Anthropic that came out with MCP are moving to Skills, which are more lightweight, just uses markdown files. There's also UTCP, which is Universal Tooling Calling Protocol, which goes directly from the LLM to the tool rather than from the LLM to MCP to the tool. Other people are saying, why do we need an abstraction? We've got API specs. All we need to do is give it a CLI tool. So if you give it a CLI tool, it can do LS and grep and other tools, as well as calling an API. Now, I don't think MCP is dead any more than like Windows is dead or Fortran is dead. There's still people using everything that's dead. There's still people running and building data centers, even though there's cloud. So everyone that says something's dead is not accurate ever, really. What I think we need is a variety of tools for different jobs, and we need architects and AI engineers to choose the best tool for the job and for your use case. MCP and Skills always going to be useful because they give the LLM a subset of options. If you give the LLM a CLI tool and let it loose on the internet, and you're a large corporate, there's a bit of risk there. It could do something that you don't want it to do, which could cause reputational damage. MCP and Skills give it a subset of things that we have allowed it to use, that we're comfortable with it using, that we know it can't do anything too damaging, and we'll use those for now. So all these things are great. This is a very fast changing space. I'm using Gemini CLI add-ons that have only been out for 2 weeks, and they're mind-blowing. So the pace of change is high, and back to my point, architects and AI engineers are needed in these projects to make sure we are using the right abstraction. We are future-proofing things or have a path to change if in the future the industry moves in a different direction. Any questions about this, let us know. We've put a ton of AI agents and we are following all the developments very closely to make sure what we build is future-proof for our customers. Thank you.